Hello, stationery friends. Welcome back to Ginger Peachy Pens. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sarah, and today I am making a Q&A in celebration of 1 year on YouTube. I am in some ways surprised that I've made it to here, and also it has just flown by, so I've really enjoyed being on YouTube, like making friends through this. I've recently met a few of um, my subscribers. I mean, I hate to call them subscribers because they're friends in real life, and so that's been really cool. Um, and yeah, I've filmed this video twice already, and just wasn't happy with how it went. I hadn't really thought things through very well. So now I have note cards with the questions and like my notes, and I think that's going to help me. So, um, first question is from Instagram, and the question was it hard to get started and define your filming setup? So I'll say I think the hardest part, first of all, and people always say this, but was just getting started, was deciding like, what do I want to talk about? Do people want to hear what I have to say? But it was something I had thought about for a while because I always enjoyed fountain pen YouTube. And, um, I always like would make comments back to people in their videos, like out loud, not even in their comment section a lot of times. And, just kind of crave somebody to talk to. I mean, I have a couple of people in my life who use fountain pens, but um, they're not exactly enthusiasts in the way that I am. And so I was like, I want to connect with some other people and be able to say things I want to say. I'm not great at typing my thoughts. So even communicating through like Instagram or, texting or whatever is not my strongest suit. So, yeah, anyway, getting started. It was easy to start with a Hobonichi haul because everybody everybody loves Hobonichi hauls. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people who are very into that. So it was easy to do. I was able to just open the package and take things out one at a time and not um, have to plan too much ahead. My hardest part after that was figuring out where to film because my desk is a roll top desk. I'm going to put a picture of it from long ago. It looks different now because um, I took the picture very quickly after I got the desk. And I really need to get it tidied up so I can take another picture. But I received this beautiful desk from a neighbor. My neighbor who I had gotten kind of close to, she passed away, and her family offered me her beautiful roll top desk, and I have always wanted one. So I have loved having this desk, but it's not wonderful for filming because there's no light coming from that side. A lot of people put their desk in front of a window when they're going to film, and I don't have that luxury, but I want to use my desk because it's where all my things are. So I know a bunch of my earlier videos were kind of dark. I tried to open the blinds as much as I could, like across the room. Um, and I just bought a cheap gooseneck tripod thing that you put your phone in here and you clamp this to something, to your desk. And then this is, bendable. This was fine, and I used it for like 8 months, but it was kind of a pain as well. I did not, because it's a roll top desk, there's not a good edge to clamp it to. So I was having to like clamp it to the shelves on the desk, like in the back here. And that was awkward. And the arm was always in the way. And it was not great, but I made it work for like 8 months, 6, 8 months, something like that. And then finally invested in the canvas desk lamp and ring light. Like it's a ring light lamp with a MagSafe holder for my phone because I don't have a fancy camera. And that's worked pretty well. So this is what you're seeing now is there's a ring light coming from up above, and the phone is in the middle of it with the camera is in the middle of the ring. And so I just have light coming from above, which is why the shadows are not the best. But I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of light can I get to put back here. I'm thinking maybe some LED strip lights might work or something to balance out the shadows. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. It's just taken some, one little step at a time, trying not to spend all the money to begin with, not knowing if I was going to enjoy doing YouTube. So I do really like this canvas lamp tripod thing. Oh, great. There's a moving truck outside. I'm sorry if you hear that beeping. Secondly, from Instagram, what is one pen you're itching to buy but haven't done it yet? The only pen that I could think of is the Gourmet Pens and Franklin Christoph collaboration. It's a Model 46, which I meant to get all of these out beforehand. The Model 46, which is this size, Franklin Christoph. It's a really good size pen, number 6 nib, which is why it's a 46, and it does post. A really nice pen, but that material that Aziza at Gourmet Pens chose, it's called Stars on Sapphire Lakes, and it is gorgeous. So at some point, I want to hopefully add one of those to my collection, but haven't done it yet. Just hasn't been the right time. Next, also from Instagram, what is your favorite video that you've made so far? So I thought about this for a while, and I've got not just one answer to this because I'm an over-explainer, but I will say I enjoy making pen videos more than I enjoy ink videos. Inks, I like inks, but I also tend to find ones that I really love and just keep using the same ones over and over, or I like to pair an ink with a pen and then keep filling that pen with that same ink over and over. So and ink swatching, is kind of messy, and like in my head, it just feels like it's a project. So I like them, but they're not my favorite. But specific videos, I really enjoyed the one where I opened the packages from like Inkapet and a couple of friends, and opened the Inkapet summer accessories. Because I just laughed through that whole video because they're so adorable. I'm still in love with them. I did get some of the fall accessories, which I need to share with you. I was going to do it here, and I ended up giving away one of my Inkapets in the Pelican Hub last night. So I don't have it, so I'm going to order a new one. But anyway, I loved that video, and I ended up watching that video again at my parents' house because I happened to be there and they were watching that video, and they were laughing along with me at the cute little accessories. So I enjoyed that one. I loved the 2 pen reviews that I did with my mom and dad, Mama Peachy and Papa Peachy. That was really fun to talk with them about their collections and how they use their pens. And then my favorite kinds of videos really are the tag videos, the Q&As, the superlatives, which was the what's your largest and smallest, your least and most expensive, those kinds of questions. And like the 8 pen questions tag, like I love those kinds because I was, an early adopter to Facebook, and also, I guess also email before that, when those quizzes were really popular that would go around and you answered like 40 questions about yourself, your favorite flower, and your favorite thing to put on toast, and what's your favorite thing to drink. And I love those little quizzes. I did them all the time. Like I would do them for fun and not even like post them anywhere. I know it's so silly, but so I like those kind of videos, which is why I enjoy a Q&A like this. Especially when I think out my answers ahead of time so that I don't say stupid stuff. Okay, from Instagram, top favorite inks and pens of all time and why, and any pen or ink regrets that didn't quite live up to your expectations. I'm also going to combine this one with another question that is just, if you had to pick a favorite pen, which one would it be? And that question was from YouTube. So, favorite inks. I started to like put little tabs on these so I could find them faster, but I think I can get to them pretty quick. First of all, first one I thought of is Uroshizuku Murasaki Shikibu. This is one of the best purple inks that I own. No sheen, no shimmer. It works well in every pen I've put it in. It does not bleed or feather very much. Like, it is such a good ink. Really beats out pretty much every other purple that I own, even though I have quite a few purple inks. Monteverde Gratitude has been one of my recent top favorites. I reach for this all the time. I need to use Diamine Deep Magenta more because it's a similar color. And I just haven't used it as much, but I really like that shade as well. Um, Speaking of diamines, a couple of other favorites, and I don't think that she was asking for just one, but Diamine Hope Pink, GH. My friend sent me the sample of this, and I bought a bottle of it pretty much as quickly as I could because I love this pink. I keep re-inking pens with the same pink. Truthfully, like I really need to go through and let go of some pinks. This is another favorite, but maybe not as much anymore. Um, and let's see. Diamine Marine um, is a bright turquoise teal. We don't know what to call them. I think it comes across a little more blue on camera, but it is a perfect like greeny blue turquoise color. Aqua Lagoon is a brighter version, brighter. But Marine is the one that I reach for all the time and put it in pens like constantly. Um, and then the last two are Pelican Edelstein Olivine is a favorite forest green. This is one of my three that I have backups for. Oh, and actually, I'm going to mention two here. Pelican Edelstein Smoky Quartz. I have a backup bottle of this as well. I love this. Love this. Love this brown. And Pelican Edelstein Star Ruby. And my friend who asked me this question on Instagram, I know that she has some Star Ruby now because for a while I sent her a sample of it, I think, and she knows how good it is. So those are some of my favorite inks. In the past, favorites have been Waterman Inspired Blue. I was looking for Inspired, but not Waterman. Still, I really like it, but I think I need a new bottle. Mine is just almost empty, and I think it has dried a little bit, so it's not as bright. And Noodler's Cactus Fruit Eel is similar to the Monteverde Gratitude. This has been one of my most favorites, like throughout my pen journey. But again, this bottle I think is just old and it's kind of gotten thicker and doesn't dry on the paper. I think I just need a new bottle. So those are some favorites. And some favorite pens of all time are this Pilot Vanishing Point in the limited 2011 pink. I will never let this go. The Vanishing Point like pen body is not my number one favorite to use, but this pen it's so beautiful. Like I just love it so much. It will never go anywhere. The SD oversize in candy. This could have been a standard size if I had found one this pretty, but the candy is divine. I love this pen so much. Um, yeah, I just think it's so fabulous. There's nothing better, and possibly the Monte Grappa Elmo and Marshmallow would top this list. This was a Grail pen for me for a long time, um, and so I have both versions. But I love this, and these are inked a lot of the time. Just love this material. For a long time I would never pick a favorite color and just say my favorite color is like all the colors jammed together, like put them all in it. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a rainbow, but like I like all the colors all together. And yeah, so those are some of my most favorites. I would say my favorite pen for comfort is the Bone Crusher Studios Velma. And I now have 4 of these, and I adore them. And actually last night at the Pelican Hub, I handed this to someone and she was like, "This is the most comfortable pen I've ever held." And I was like, "I know. I don't know what it is. It is just wonderful." And this one is so pretty. This Arizona Abalone, I think, um, is just so pretty for fall. It'll stay inked through the fall for sure. Um, so pens and inks that did not quite live up to my expectations. As for a pen, I'm going to say the Lamy Safari. I had a hard time with this because, pens come and go, and like, yeah, there are some things that haven't worked for me. And I've sold a lot of pens over the years, but I don't know. That was kind of a hard question. Um, some of my, did she say pen or ink regrets? Yes. So some of my regrets, and I don't like to use the word regrets because, you know, I don't necessarily really regret it, but the Airbond Emerald of Chivor, like waiting so long to get that, I never reached for it. Like I could never get the shimmer to work in my pens, any of them, like the way that I wanted it to. That was kind of the ink that helped me see that like shimmer actually is not my favorite inks to use, as beautiful as they are. Organic Studio Nitrogen, similar, like um it has that gorgeous red sheen. You know, that bright blue ink, gorgeous red sheen. It is pretty, like on a swatch and in pictures. I did not like it in use. So you saw that all those favorite inks I showed you, all of them were non-sheening except for the Waterman Inspired Blue and non-shimmers because I want the ink to, number one, flow the same like throughout my writing. I don't want the shimmer to like sometimes be in there and sometimes not. And I don't want, like, I want the ink to be the color that it is. I don't know. I don't know why I don't like sheening anymore very much, but I just don't. Um, Another regret is letting go of the Woodshed Shimmer Purple pen. Like the week that I sold that pen, I was like, why did I sell that? You know? So that one I regret. The same for the Platinum 3776 Roca. Um, I didn't love using the soft medium nib on that pen, and that's really why I let it go. And I knew that I could get a good little bit of money for it, but it was so pretty. And so I sort of regret letting that go because it would be impossible pretty much to get back without spending a whole lot of money. So I won't ever be getting that again. The first um, commission pen that I made, I didn't make it, that I purchased, I regret how I handled that because I was not happy with the material um, and how it came out. And so, um, actually, I was not happy with the material, the first one that I asked for, because they couldn't replicate like the pictures that I had seen at all. It was nothing like the pictures I had seen. I'm not going to tell you what maker it is because they're a wonderful maker, but they couldn't replicate the material that they showed in their pictures in this one instance. And so I said, okay, actually, can I get one with a different material? And so they made the other one, and I did not like how the blank turned, like how it looked when it was finished. But then I felt obligated to purchase it and not to just say no thank you. And I kind of felt like, I ended up turning around and selling it within like 3 or 4 months because I just wasn't in love with it. It was pretty, like objectively pretty, but just I wasn't thrilled. So, and that was not an inexpensive pen either. So I kind of regret how I handled that, and now I feel like I handle buying small maker pens differently. I generally don't commission them. I buy them once they're finished. Um, and I guess I regret just so many pens that I bought on impulse and then ended up selling pretty quickly, but I'm trying to be more thoughtful. All right, the next question is from Instagram. Borrowed from Goulet Pens, favorite pen in each color family. And I might make you mad, but I am going to save this question and do a whole video. Possibly next week, this will be the video, because that'll be fun. This will be like, superlatives. I like the ink rainbow. Those kind of pens I enjoy. So picking my favorite pen that I own in each color family. So watch for that video soon. I'm sorry to not answer your question right now. All right, next question was from YouTube. The name. I am most curious about why people choose their YouTube handle. If you watched my last Q&A, I talked about this, but I will share quickly. So Ginger Peachy means something that is wonderful or great, neat or splendid. It was coined, the phrase was really became popular in the 1940s with teenagers. It just means like there was a sentence, things are just ginger peachy, like just neat, just swell. Like that's kind of how I see it. And so it's a positive thing. It's just a happy little term. The first time I heard it was in the movie Meet Me in St. Louis, which if you go back and watch my other Q&A, I put the clip of that movie in there. And I realized that Meet Me in St. Louis is filmed in 1944, so Ginger Peachy would have been being used around that time, but the movie took place in 1904. So actually, it being in that movie is an anachronism. So, but John Truitt says that Welsh rabbit was Ginger Peachy. And I just have always liked that. My family and I quote that movie a lot. We all love Meet Me in St. Louis. Um, and so, I just liked that. Plus, I'm a redhead, so ginger, and I'm from Georgia originally, so that's peachy. Georgia peach. So yeah, I like it. Just wanted something that was, you know, cute and different from what other people have done, and something that I could carry over through my Instagram and YouTube, and it wasn't, yeah, that was just different and would, not be hard to remember and things like that. So I was so afraid of picking something and then me not liking it pretty quickly. So far, I'm still pretty happy with it. Once in a while, I'm like, should I change my name? Like, well, no, I think it's gonna be mine for a good while. So, okay, next question from YouTube: If is there a stationary item that you gave into out of FOMO, and you realized it really is worth all the hype? And vice versa, is there one that didn't quite hit the mark and you weren't really impressed? So, this was hard for me at first to answer, and then I realized that, like, some of these I didn't really buy out of FOMO, but I bought them because, I guess, kind of. So the first ones that I thought of were the Pilot Custom 823, and even really the Pilot Custom 74. Those are the ones that I have. Um, I just have always seen this as such a boring pen. And when the prices were about to go up, I decided, okay, well, let me try it because at least I'll know that I can sell it for, at least most of what I paid. And it is worth the hype. Like, these, they are boring. Like, it's boring. It's black. It's looks like a business person's pen. Um, but it's also pretty. Like, I'm not saying it's not pretty. It's just not this. And I usually don't need a vacuum filler because I don't need a huge ink capacity, that I usually just fill my pens like halfway. So, but when I got this in my hand, I was like, "Oh, this is this is the real deal." Like, the nibs feel so good on the paper. They're not too soft. They are not too scratchy. Like, they're beautiful nibs. The vacuum filler is not too heavy. I don't usually post them, but you can, and it still to me is not too heavy. The TWSBI VAC 700 was too heavy. If I were gonna ever get another TWSBI VAC, it would be the mini, because the big one, I got rid of that really quickly because it was way too heavy. This is so comfortable. It writes so beautifully every time. Like, it's worth the hype for sure. I'm trying not to spend too much time on that. Also, this is a recent one, but the new Esterbrook Model J, this has surprised me. This ebonite pen is just gorgeous. It is so comfortable to hold, to write with. Um, I do kind of post it once in a while. It's kind of, I don't know, it's okay. But it has surprised me how beautiful and how comfortable and how much I just want to reach for this pen over and over. I would not necessarily say I bought this out of FOMO. That's just one of those, like, I just really wanted to try it, but it has surprised me. And I don't feel like there's a lot of hype about it either. So maybe this is not a good answer to this question. But yeah, it has surprised me. I love this pen so much. If you've been thinking about it, I say try it. Another one is this Laban 325. Yeah, I always have to think, is it 325 or 825? I thought that this pink was limited, and so I kind of hurried up and got one when I thought that the pink was going to go away, and it turns out I think it's standard. But this pen surprised me. This pen is also really comfortable to use, to hold. I had to work on my nib a little bit. I mean, it's just a Yovo nib. It wasn't super smooth, but I got that worked out. And this pen just, like, in a way, again, and to me at first it was sort of boring, but It has surprised me, and I have fallen in love with this gorgeous, gorgeous pen. Um, and the last one is the Narwhal Nautilus. The only one that I have in the Nautilus or the Voyage series is this one, the 2023 Rabbit New Year one. Um, and I really like this pen. The nib was not wonderful the first time I inked it. Um, they make their own nibs, and it wasn't super consistent. But I've changed the ink, and I don't know if it's the ink or if it's that I've just written with it enough that it's sort of adjusted itself or something. But I haven't had the same kind of trouble with it. And rather than ever getting rid of this for that reason, I would get that nib worked on because this pen is just really pretty, and I actually really like it even more than I sort of expected to. Um, Ones that didn't really hit the mark and I wasn't really impressed. Um, the Diplomat Arrow, if you like metal pens, it is very cool. It has a very satisfying click. I don't like metal pens, so I got that one. I actually won it from a pen addict thing, and was really grateful for that. And I tried. It was really pretty. It was that teal blue color, and just could not use a metal pen. So I'm not saying it's not worth the hype, but for me, it was not. Um, the the Five Below fountain pens. I bought all the ones I could find. Sometime last year, I think, and they were cute and like some of them kind of worked, but they were not great. I would not recommend them for beginners because I feel like beginners would get frustrated with them, um, because they don't work very well. At least some of them worked better than others. I ended up giving them all away to a friend and saying, just use them to play around with, but don't expect much from them. So I think she was going to kind of share them with some friends. And lastly, for me, someone's going to get mad about this, the Leonardo Memento Zero and the Furore pens, and I'm putting them together because for me, they were not worth the hype for the same reason. They are beautiful pens. They are very well made. They have some of their little struggles that, like Doodlebud, he talks about that plastic on metal threads and how that can be problematic. But overall, they are beautiful Italian pens. I love to look at them. The grip sections do not work for me. And the same actually with the Moon Man, the Mahjong or Moon Man pen that looked the same as the Leonardo. Um, that grip section, it tapers down and then it goes straight. And I've talked about this before. I wanted to love them and just couldn't get along with them. So I don't feel like this is a great answer to this question because I'm sure there were other pens that I got and was disappointed with, but I tried to like send them back or I guess you know what? One that I can mention is the Benu Euphoria in Confetti Milkshake from Goulet Pens. I like the Euphoria. I have two of them, maybe three. I have three of them actually, and I do really like them. It's not the pen shape. It is the and I don't see it right now to even show you one. It is the it was the material. So here's the Gold Coast, and yeah, I love this. This is my favorite one that I own. Um, it's not the shape. So the Euphoria is a great pen. The Confetti Milkshake was white with, it still is, they still make it with sprinkles in the top, sprinkles in the bottom, and like a stripe of sprinkles around the middle here and here, kind of where this glitter is in this one. And I wanted to like it so much. And when I got it in hand, I realized that the white, was an opaque white, and the sprinkles were in clear um, acrylic, which makes sense because you need them to be in the clear so you can see the sprinkles and they don't get just mixed into the white. But my problem was that the clear next to the white looked like spoiled milk to me that had like separated, and I could not get past it. And so I kept it, like I ordered one. I never inked it. I kept it in the box, but I took it out like 3 or 4 times and looked at it and was just finally like, I can't keep this because I'm so glad that other people are enjoying them because they are cute, but when I got it up close, I was like, my weak stomach cannot handle cannot handle this pen. Um, so I ended up sending it back and just apologizing, So now I know that's not one for me, and that's okay. I wanted to love it because it was rainbowy and cute, but yeah, that's one that didn't work out for me. All right, next from YouTube. What accessory did you never think you needed but now wouldn't live without? I have 3 answers for this. First of all, Inkapet. Y'all know I love them. I don't think I have spilled a single ink file since having these. And that's why I took one last night to give away at the Pelican Hub. Secondly, my Hobonichi Weeks cover, which you would have seen if you watched my recent Galen Leather video. I love this slim Galen Weeks slim Hobonichi Weeks cover. They also make an A6 and an A5 and maybe a B5 or something. It doesn't need an elastic closure to keep it closed. Of course, I don't like super chunk up my weeks. I do have some stickers and stuff, but I don't really bulk it up. But this does not fall open easily. Like I put it in my bag just fine. I can fit it anywhere. It's not too heavy. It's got just the right amount of pockets and things. I even have like a notepad in here, and that's not too much for it. The pen loop is so good because it's stretchy, so it fits any pen. I've had pretty big pens in here. And yeah, and this undyed leather too is just gorgeous, But I would not live without this, I don't think. If I lost it, I would repurchase it. And thirdly is the Schoen Designs Lure Syringe Pen Cleaning Tool. That's what it's called. Looks like this, made by Schoen Design, Ian Schoen. He designed this part. Obviously, he did not design a syringe, but this was made to fit, and I brought this pen just for this purpose. This is like I said, a pen cleaning tool. You disassemble your pen, take out your converter, and use a blunt needle syringe to clean this out quickly. And then this is sized to fit on a youve feed. So he also sells Sailor and Pilot, and he's got other brands that he is releasing soon. But you just fit that on there and put the nib. I actually put it under running water, or you can put it down in a container of water, and then you just pump this like this, and it cleans the pen so fast. Like, I was shocked the first time I used it at how fast the water in here turned clear. Using a paper towel, I would still get some color out of the nib and then just try it a few more times, but it was so much faster than using using a bulb syringe goes pretty fast. So I was really surprised at how much faster this worked and how much I like the system. So I only own the one for youve, but down the road I would like to get a Pilot one, a Sailor one maybe, and then just see what else. Most of my pens I think are youve, so that's certainly a great one for me. So, all right, last but not least, I have a set of 10 little questions from Robin at Talks from the Heart. She called it Sarah's Q&A, and I'm going to try to kind of rapid fire answer these. So number 1, how did you pick Rudy's name? Rudy is my dog. Rudy came with his name from the rescue. I was going to get a dog and name them Jelly Bean. My sister and I went to look at a white Westie at the shelter whose name was Stormy, and I was going to change her name to Jelly Bean if my sister would let me. And she was not available. So we looked around at the rescue, and my sister saw Rudy, and she said, we need to play with this dog. And I thought, that dog looks like a mess, and I'm not sure, but I'm so glad that we did. So I credit my sister with bringing Rudy into my life. And when my sister got married, Rudy was kind of attached to me, and so he stayed with me. And my sister has her own dogs now, don't worry. But number 2 is, where did you adopt Rudy from? I adopted him from a local rescue in the Baton Rouge area, Louisiana. If you're looking for one in this area, I can recommend some, but there are like 10, rescues. Rudy was picked up off the street as a stray, and he was about 9 months old. And so he was at the animal shelter, and the rescue went and picked him up, and they they did his shots and neuter and um, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I adopted him for $100, which I thought was extremely fair. And he has been the best little dog. So I highly recommend that you always look at a rescue, even if you think my rescue or my shelter only has dogs that I don't want. Just check them out because I did not expect to find cute, fluffy lap dogs at shelters or rescues, and I did. So yeah, there's lots of doggies who needs homes, dog and cats and rabbits and other animals as well. All right, number 3, how did you end up in Louisiana? So I was born in Georgia. My dad is from Georgia. Lived there until I was 10. Still have a lot of family in Georgia. Um, my dad, when I was 10, started school. He had graduated from high school, but he started college in his 30s, in his mid 30s. And so we moved to New Orleans for my dad to go to school. And he followed his calling from there. And we have just stayed in Louisiana. And I have lived in 3 different cities in Louisiana. And my parents live in a fourth. So we have kind of lived all over the state at this point. Um, but yeah, so will you say where you're from? And I'm kind of like, I don't know, because I'm not exactly from Louisiana, but I've lived most of my life in Louisiana. But I'm not Cajun, so it's kind of where you're from. I don't know, the South. Number 4, what other interests or hobbies do you have besides pens and stationery? I'm one of the serial hobbyist kind of people, but mainly crocheting, which I've done since I was 10. My 5th grade teacher taught me how to crochet. Um, Mostly I like to make blankets and then like pumpkins and things like that. I don't do a lot of clothing or anything. I read a lot. Again, it's one of those things I kind of go through phases with, but when I'm reading, I read a lot, and then I'll go through a few months where I don't read hardly at all. Jigsaw puzzles, like that's a phase that I go in and out of at least once every year or so. I'll do 5 or 6 jigsaw puzzles in a row, like big 1,000, 2,000 piece ones. The Atlanta Braves baseball. I'm a big Braves fan. We grew up with the Braves in Georgia, and about 2018, we kind of lost touch with them and moving to Louisiana because we couldn't get them on TV. 2018, I discovered MLB TV, and then I could, just get like the MLB app and watch the Braves. And so our whole family kind of has jumped back into being Braves fanatics. And then a little bit of lots of things. I have a few houseplants that I like. I like to play games of all sorts. A little bit of like hand sewing, not exactly embroidery, but little stitching projects once in a while. And of course, playing with my doggy and going for long walks with him and taking him for car rides and things like that. So, number 5, what is your favorite fountain pen? I don't know. I don't know. I said earlier some options. This one, the candy. I like the colorful ones. Esterbrook Estes are just favorites all around. Look at this cute. I'm not saying yet that this is a favorite. This is a Derail Pens pen that I have not shown yet. It looks like a little cloud to me. I think the color is called Milkshake, and it's so cute. It's so cute. So I need to show this later soon, but it's a current favorite that I'm enjoying. But yes, I love my fountain pens. I don't necessarily have a one favorite. Your most expensive fountain pen. That's going to be, again, this Vanishing Point. I bought it aftermarket. Definitely paid more than what it was originally. And secondly, the Aurora 88 Burano. I did get it for a really good price, but it still was one of the most expensive pens that I own. And I really like it though. Look at the little pink bubble on the top. Isn't that cute? So yes, love those both. They're not regrets at all. Number 7, favorite song. So I am a music person, though I would say now I listen to podcasts a lot more than I listen to music. So thinking about favorite songs, um, one of the first ones that came to mind was Mumford and Sons "After the Storm." I love Mumford and Sons. My sister and I have been to 2 Mumford and Sons concerts, and then she and I and my mom went to the Marcus Mumford self-titled album concert last year. Love their music so much. But After the Storm is one of my favorite songs. There's an artist whose name is Faith Gilmore, who I knew from high school, and she has an album from like early 2000s called Trip the Light, and I love that whole album. But the song Night Will Fall is one of my most favorite songs. Um, Bethany Bernard is one of my favorite artists. I've loved her since she was a teenager, and she went by her maiden name, Bethany Dillon, but now she's Bethany Bernard. And her album, All My Questions, came out after her father died of cancer, and she was diagnosed with some mental health disorders. And um, this album is just her like wrestling with that and her like talking to God about it. And I discovered that album um, before we went through last year with my family and had some really hard experiences. And I would say I listened to that album probably 200 times over the last year because it was such an encouragement. So that whole album, I would say Comfort is probably one of my favorite songs. Oren Lavi, who is an Israeli artist, is one that I really love. His album, The Opposite Side of the Sea, is one that I've listened to hundreds of times over the years. Um, and yeah, love all the songs on it. But I just like music. My dad is a big 70s music person, and over the years, I have fallen in love with like 60s and 70s singer songwriter music. Dad is more on the rock side. He loves the Eagles and, um, you know, ZZ Top and stuff. But I kind of fall towards the singer songwriter side. I love Carole King and James Taylor and Cat Stevens, and the Carpenters are top favorites. They're probably who kind of got me into this music. Simon and Garfunkel. Just I love the Mamas and the Papas, the Free Design. Like I love that kind of music so much. I have a Pandora station that I listen to so often. That's all those artists. Um, so yeah, in general. But I also just like I like pop music. I like 90s country music sometimes, gospel, some worship and hymns, folk music, classical music. I'm a choir person, so I love choral music with really good tight harmonies. Um, yeah, picking a favorite song is like, picking a favorite pen. But yes, I like music, and I'm not super up on like current pop music or current any kind of music because, like I said, I just listen to podcasts a lot, and then I go back and listen to old music a lot. It feels stressful to me to try to find new music. My sister's really good at that. My sister's constantly listening to new things and like making new Spotify playlists and stuff, and she'll send me songs sometimes. Um, and I don't know. It's like I don't have the brain capacity to learn new songs. Okay, number 8. We're almost at the end. Favorite thing to watch. I'm gonna say probably older sitcoms like Seinfeld. I Love Lucy is my like lifetime favorite show. The Andy Griffith Show I still love. Frasier, Cheers, Friends, those kind of sitcoms. I love them. I also like some like period drama, like Little Women, Downton Abbey, some of the BBC masterpiece shows like All Creatures Great and Small. We got into that recently. I loved Broadchurch, which was not a period drama. I don't know why I'm saying that right now, but that's a BBC masterpiece show. It was wonderful. Um, Pride and Prejudice kind of movies, like those kind of movies. I generally like happy things or like things that have happy endings, kind of lighthearted, cleaner, like those kind of things. I don't watch a lot of movies because I don't have the attention span for them as much anymore, but I also watch YouTube a lot. And some shows like Sweet Magnolias. I do like Steel Magnolias, and it was actually filmed in my college town. Um, but Sweet Magnolias on YouTube, such a great little show. Um, and then sometimes, like, the only reality show really that I ever watch is Survivor, and that's just like every once in a while. Like, sometimes when I'm sick and I'm home for 3 or 4 days, I'll watch an entire season of Survivor that I missed. Last year, I actually watched it in time and I enjoyed it, but I was so like every week I was waiting for Wednesday so I could watch the next episode. So I almost like watching older ones later so that I can, watch them faster. I don't know why I've always kind of liked Survivor. Um, Number 9, favorite season slash holiday. Favorite season would probably be fall, but like when it gets cool. And right now it's still like 95 degrees down here. Um, Fall when it gets cool, but also the spring when the birds start chirping and the flowers start blooming. And I love that time. And favorite holidays are Christmas. I love Christmas time. I love that warm, cozy feeling and Christmas music and lights and trees and the celebrations of Jesus at that time. And then also Easter. I love the Easter season, celebrating the resurrection of Jesus um, and then just that season of new life and the joy around that time of year. I love Easter. Um, and then number 10, last but not least, um, favorite candy. So this was on her list. So my favorite candy, I would say, I guess, is just milk chocolate, like in most any form. I like fudge, like Smoky Mountain fudge. I like peanut butter M&Ms and Reese's and things like that. Milky Ways, Three Musketeers, and then Starburst, like Skittles. Skittles gummies are really good. I like Jolly Ranchers. I like candy. The only thing I don't like in candy really is coconut, that coconut goo that they put in candy, and like nuts. Like I like peanuts, like Snickers, but not any other kind of nuts. So otherwise, yes, I like candy in general. So anyway, all right, that is my Q&A. This one is about 13 minutes longer than the last two that I recorded, but I feel happier with my answers this time. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for the last year of watching my YouTube channel and commenting and being a part of this community. I have enjoyed it immensely, and I look forward to being around for a while. I hope so. Let me know if you have any other questions and put them in the comments, and maybe I'll chat with you. Not maybe. I will. I'll answer your questions in the comments as best as I can, or maybe I'll turn them into a whole video because I could use a few video ideas now and then. So, anyway, thank you so much again, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.